The Joker 2. Mon Dieu is more like it. Good evening, it's Adam here again with another quick instant movie review. I'm going to do this quick before I lose my voice. Joker Folie Deux is the sequel to the 2019 film Joker. Once again, this is directed by Todd Phillips and stars Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck. In this particular film, it takes place after the events of the first film, where Arthur Fleck is in custody in Arkham Asylum and is awaiting trial for the series of murders that he committed under his persona Joker. His lawyer plans to argue that Fleck's Joker persona is responsible for the crimes. Whilst at a musical therapy session, Arthur meets Lee Quinn, played by Lady Gaga, who reveals that she has been committed to this particular music therapy session after burning down her parents' apartment, and she is just a little bit obsessed with everything that the Joker stands for. So the two hatch a plan to build a mountain together and get out of Dodge, all while Arthur is on trial for his life. So, as I said, this film is once again directed by Todd Phillips. Scott Silver is once again responsible with Phillips for doing the screenplay, and once again has Joaquin Phoenix in the lead role. So, what's this like? Well, first of all, it's a ridiculous name. Joker Folie Adieu. Well, what does it mean? I suppose it means shared madness is what basically Folie Adieu means, where two people share a crazy notion. And I suppose that kind of gives the pretense around what this film is. It's two people who have an illusion of grandeur and greatness, and that they can do many things together under this persona of Joker. And obviously, Lee Quinn turns into Harley Quinn and gives herself her own persona. So I think the thing with this film is as follows. I suppose if you look at Joker as a film that is sitting in the DC universe and is some sort of origin story for what's going to happen with Batman, and if it's all going to sort of tie in together, I don't think Todd Phillips ever really imagined for that to happen. It was never his intention to make a film beyond Joker in 2019, although Joaquin Phoenix really wanted to. He kept having dreams about Arthur sitting on stage as the Joker and then singing songs and telling jokes, which is interesting because we kind of got halfway there. Obviously, Warner Brothers went, we made how many gazillion dollars? Of course we want a sequel. So they sort of, I think, convinced Todd Phillips that you really should do a sequel because it's going to make money. Oh, by the way, do you know you got nominated for a Best Director and Best Film, and your star won Best Actor in the 2020 Academy Awards? Yeah, so we're going to make another one. Makes sense. But what's really interesting about this film is if you're going into Joker Folie Adieu as a film that is a logical sequel to Joker, and that somehow he's going to burst out and there's going to be some cross section of him and Batman and Harley Quinn going out doing things, and it's going to be an origin story, I think you're going to be massively disappointed, because this film is more of an examination of the first film and all the things that the first film really was put under the spotlight for, i.e. glorifying violence, taking a fictional character and putting him in this kind of realistic situation that could incite something pretty nasty in the real world. So this really is an examination of that fandom and just how far people really went with that fandom. And that's kind of what Lee Quinn, aka Harley Quinn, becomes of that obsession, not with Arthur Fleck, but with the Joker. So we kind of are put on trial as well in watching this film. So, how does that work out though from a viewer point of view? Well, I guess it's almost like Todd Phillips going, we never want to make another Joker film. So, what I'm going to do instead is turn it on its head and get the people to look at what they really liked and whether or not they're happy with the way that they looked at the first film and the violence in that first film, and how reflective the character is on that violence as well, which is quite an interesting stance. I mean, Todd Phillips was really almost accused in some respects of making a film that was almost a direct ripoff of King of Comedy, the Martin Scorsese film. And obviously having Robert De Niro in that first film was a bit of a touchstone on that. But I think with this one, he's actually matured as a filmmaker. He's actually gone, no, what I'm now going to do is do a court procedural drama, and I'm going to put my own film on the stand. And I want you to look at it about what I was trying to get across. And that is really interesting and bold and ballsy as a filmmaker. Um, does this stand up for a repeat viewing? I mean, probably not, but if you're going to watch the two films back to back, I think it'd be a really interesting examination of a creative team going, well, we're not going to give you the same film. We're going to give you examination of that first film based upon what we believe the feedback was from that first film, which is a really bold move. And I really take my hat off to Todd Phillips and to Warner Brothers for taking that swing. And look, let's talk about performances. Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, can the man do anything wrong? He is once again amazing in this film, and a slightly different Arthur Fleck. You know, dare I say, a bit more toned down and a little bit more self-reflective. Yes, we do get those shines of what made um his Joker so scary, I suppose, and unhinged in that first film. In this one, but what's interesting is that you know the examination of this twin persona really does come under effect, and you're thinking no, but then somehow it kind of all comes out. So an amazing performance from Joaquin Phoenix. Lady Gaga is great. She has a moment where I thought, oh, you might be stealing this film away from Joaquin Phoenix. We're going to be very, very careful. But again, in some respects, that's also what the filmmaker is trying to say, is that are we having the fans steal this film away from what we're actually trying to say through examining it? So it's quite interesting the way that they use Lady Gaga in this film, as both a draw card and also as a self-reflective piece. So I thought she was great. The songs, yeah, okay. So yes, I think some of them were great. There's certainly a whole lot of old standards that have been put into play. And what's interesting about this one is that Hilda Goodendaughter, who did the first score for this, has come back again to do this score, and she's interweaved the musical pieces quite interesting in taking these old standards like That's Life, and puts this real sinister feel behind it. The orchestration is so smart in this film, really is. And Lady Gaga herself said it was really hard. She almost had to relearn how to sing and how to breathe because her character sings so differently and off key and breathes differently and sings differently, that it was a real challenge for her to do this film. So I think the musical numbers are really interesting. And look, is there too many? Probably. It didn't quite get to the point where I wanted to walk out, which has sometimes happened. I'm looking at you, Greatest Showman, when someone starts singing again. It got very close in a couple of moments for me, but I think the way that they are expressing themselves through song was really, really interesting. And again, it's a character reflective moment on, okay, well, we're not even going to tell you how we're feeling. We're going to tell it to you in a song, which is something that's like the filmmakers going, nah, we're not making it that easy for you. We're going to put some lyrics in. So it was a very, very interesting choice. And I dare say Joaquin Phoenix was pretty happy because that's what his premonition was about when he was looking after the Fleck. And, the other interesting thing about this is that it's not a safe film. It's a challenging film. And it's filmmakers going, we're not going to give you a CGI sequel fest that you think you might be getting and the crossover that you think you might be getting. We get something very different. And it's not like the end of the Batman that we're setting up a Joker. We're getting something very different at the end of this film. And look, I was expecting the worst, and I actually came out pleasantly surprised by Joker Folie. I think the director and the creative team have achieved exactly what they wanted to do with this film. And that is to put a mirror up to the previous film and those people that took a different message away from that movie and have really gone, well, this is what we were trying to do. And you're trying to do something. You were trying to take something else out of it. And we're now telling you that was wrong. So it's a really interesting, reflective piece, a bold swing, and one that I think a lot of people are going to hate because it's not the first film, but it's something that's a really interesting examination of that first film and the themes in it and the way that we interpret things. So I would probably give Folie a 7.5 out of 10. I actually thought it was really good. The performances were great. The score was really good. The direction is really good by Todd Phillips. And yeah, I there's not a great deal I can fault except for maybe there's a few too many musical numbers. But I think people are going to hate it. I think some people are going to love it. And that's a great line to have between these two. It will do money, but it is not a superhero film. So do not go in expecting a superhero film or an anti-hero film. It's a courtroom psychological drama with musical numbers. That's what it is. All right, that is my review of Joker Folie à Deux. What did you think of this film? Have you seen it? What did you think of the first film? And what sequel really surprised you that was potentially better than the first film or just a completely different film altogether, but still somehow served the original? Comment below, let me know. I'd be very interested to find out what your response is on this one. And I look forward to catching you all next time here in my car when I have a throat that doesn't sound like it's been dragged through some gravel. All right, see you next time.